While many cities in China are closed off for quarantine, Tzu Chi volunteers still bring aid. Tzu Chi volunteers visit a mental institute, Bekasi, Indonesia, to care for its residents. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is Dai Headlines. In Sri Lanka, the Sinhalese New Year falls on April 10th as Tzu Chi volunteers held a distribution which was 2 months in planning, helping more than 5,000 low-income families.
Under the hot sun, the local residents line up in front of Tzu Chi office in Colombo to register as an eligible family for the upcoming distribution in April.
We are too old to earn money. We received your aid last year, and this year there will be another distribution for us. I'm grateful to Tzu Chi and Master Zheng Yan.
The Sri Lankan New Year falls in April every year. Last year, Tzu Chi Foundation held a distribution here, and this year, the love and care continues.
Last year, Tzu Chi gave me $83. It really helped me a lot. I bought medicine and milk powder, which is very expensive. I'm very thankful and still keep the gift voucher you gave me last year.
Sri Lankan Tzu Chi volunteers have been planning 2 months prior to the distribution. It is estimated that a total of 5,000 families will receive the aid during this event.
Singapore has one of the highest tallies of coronavirus patients outside China. Tzu Chi Singapore chapter set up an epidemic response team for preventative measures. In addition, at every Tzu Chi affiliate, visitors' temperatures and travel history are carefully screened.
Singapore has reported one of the highest tallies of coronavirus patients outside mainland China. Singapore government has raised the alert level from yellow to orange.
What is our goal? We want to calm people's minds.
Tzu Chi Singapore chapter has set up epidemic response team. The core members and leaders of all Tzu Chi affiliates discuss and implement preventative measures.
We have canceled some of our activities because we've noticed that people are frightened. We hope to gather kind thoughts and have people pray together sincerely. We also encourage more people to adopt a vegetarian diet. If people have needs, they can report them to Tzu Chi. We can respond to these reports and help them.
Tzu Chi affiliates operation responds upon the work of volunteers. To ensure that everyone can volunteer in safe conditions, there are changes to the volunteering procedures.
In the past, some volunteers might serve at medical affiliates in the morning and Jingsi Hall in the afternoon. Currently, we make sure that volunteers serve at one location to reduce the possibility of spreading infection. We need to carry out preventative measures with wisdom. People who need to be quarantined should. However, there are also people we need to care for. We must ensure we are still providing adequate care during this time.
Besides carrying out preventative measures, the volunteers also pray. Every day at noon, the staff and volunteers pray sincerely, hoping that the epidemic will end soon.
Meanwhile, in Johor Bahru and Kalai of Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers are prepared with prevention methods, as well as asking the public to gather their prayers to send kind thoughts to end the epidemic.
Before heading into work, the staff at the Tzu Chi Johor Bahru branch are asked to have their body temperature measured for prevention purposes.
I'll keep the desk clean and sanitize the telephone. Every day we mop the floor to maintain its cleanliness. We have hand sanitizer prepared and also a thermometer to measure people's body temperature as they come in, so we know they're healthy. We're also advocating our members keep to a vegetarian diet.
At the kindergarten, teachers put on a performance to help the students understand preventative measures, while also measuring the children's body temperature 3 times a day.
Through this performance, we want the children to understand, 1, not to eat meat anymore and should change to a vegetarian diet. 2, we should wash our hands frequently. 3, we need to wear masks. We hope the children can drink more water to maintain their health and be a healthy baby. This way, they won't catch the infection.
我们要怎样让这个病毒不会传染给人？这样子，我们可以做些
什么让我们自己不生病？
多喝水，常洗手。
因为小朋友他们比较
The children don't know how to keep up their hygiene habits, so if a child is sick and comes to school, then other children are more likely to catch the virus. So we must make sure they're healthy and not running a fever before they can start class.
Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Kulai retreat, volunteers have invited community members to gather and send their prayers to those in need.
因为什么都做不到，所以只好祈祷一下。
Because I cannot do anything, I've come to pray. I hope those medical staff on the front lines can hold on. I know they're strong and I thank them for their services.
把爱心送给那些生病的人。
这样你要祝福他们怎么样？
祝福他们平安，还有健康。
This child's well wishes are really the hope of everyone. It is hoped collectively we can all pray for an end to the epidemic.
As coronavirus continues to spread, medical staff have been working hard, safeguarding the health of patients. Tzu Chi volunteers in Fuding and Quanzhou, China, have delivered nutritional supplements to medical staff. They also delivered their best wishes and encouraged the medical staff to stay strong.
Quanzhou City volunteers move boxes of Jingsi food products from the warehouse and pack them.
泉州的志工
Quanzhou volunteers represent Tzu Chi Foundation to deliver warmth and best wishes to our medical staff.
Since the outbreak of coronavirus epidemic, medical staff have stood at the front line combating the epidemic. Feeling for them, city volunteers have provided strong support.
Serving at the front line is hard work, so we represent Tzu Chi and deliver our thoughts and love to the medical staff, showing our best wishes. We also want to encourage you and say that as we work together, we will be able to fight the epidemic.
Besides Quanzhou No. 1 Hospital, the volunteers have also delivered their care to Jinjiang City Hospital.
You've worked hard. We Tzu Chi volunteers are delivering our love and best wishes. It is our honor. We are grateful to have this opportunity.
In Fuding, volunteers deliver bags of gifts filled with nutritional supplements.
有燕麦、五谷粉，
There are oatmeal, multigrain powder, job steer powder, and some cookies.
还有一些饼干啊。
然后还有那个小叶红茶的糖啊。
Volunteers deliver peace charms and best wishes for the staff working in quarantine wards.
祝福大家平安啊！谢谢你们的关爱，感恩。也非常感恩你们哈，一直在坚持在一线哈。
Many cities in China have closed off and adopted quarantine measures. Tzu Chi volunteers have kept up their visits. In Hunan, volunteers helped collect clothes for medical professionals so that they could change after work. And in Henan, volunteers delivered meals to village officials working for epidemic prevention.
Despite light rain in morning in Shanghai, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Ming rushed to meet another volunteer, Zhu Yu.
国语世界
Sister Zhu Yu lends us an area of her factory to store our supplies temporarily.
On this day, a batch of disinfectants will be sent from Kwansan and volunteers will prepare to send them to different communities. After the disinfectants arrived, volunteers distribute them immediately without any delay.
在这么
At such a difficult time, we also thought of them, making them feel very warm.
他们的心的。
While the volunteers were sending disinfectants to residents, they also liaised with respective parties about sending Jinshi food products to Wuhan, hoping to give frontline healthcare professionals the greatest support.
Medical staff are working for 8 hours, maybe 10 hours. They can only eat once after 8 hours. So our grand flower is to replenish their energy. Then they can eat again until they take off their protective clothing, which is often very late.
Volunteers were busy the whole day. sending out a total of 37 buckets of disinfectant. At night, their action of distributing love still continued.
安心包，好，然后里面有茶包，我回头再问一下这个茶包怎么样来泡。这个是苏州，这比上一次不一样，还有安心包，有茶包的，好，那个大医王配的，好，然后这有一份那个信，好，给到他们的慰问信，好的，好，那就这样，感恩。
In Shuchang, Henan, Tzu Chi volunteers act as food delivery angels, preparing hot food for the staff working for epidemic prevention.
At the beginning, we cooked instant noodles. Later, Tzu Chi volunteers came back. From the 10th of February to now, they have been sending 2 meals, lunch and dinner, to us every day, and also send a grand flower at 12 o'clock midnight.
In Changsha, Hunan, volunteers collected clothes through social network so that the medical staff in the hospital can have enough clothes to change. They don't need to do laundry after work, allowing them to have more time to get enough rest.
Indonesia is enormous in size, but this also means many people need help. Tzu Chi volunteers went to a mental institute in Bekasi to care for the residents. They hope to give more love to these people so they could also sense the love from society.
Yayasan Galuh Mental Institute, located in Bekasi, was founded in 1982, and currently 430 people live there. The institute takes good care of their lives and teaches them skills so they can become independent.
Our founder established this place because he noticed many mentally challenged people were treated badly in society. For example, they became furious by kids, so they became angry and fought back. However, society would just blame them for the attack, but did not find out why they attacked people.
Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers visit these people who have been forgotten by society. They chit-chat and interact with them warmly, just like a big family.
Society always discriminates against mentally challenged patients, but this is not the fault of these patients. The Master keeps teaching us to regard every person equally, so we came to care for them and let them know they are not isolated by society.
I interact with them every day. As long as their illnesses do not kick in, they are just like normal people. If we can see them as our family members, they can quickly return to society.
Volunteers believe that if they give more help to these mentally challenged patients, they can also win the trust from society.
Today we bring you the second report in the series celebrating love and marriage. Lai Guangrong worked in China, where he was successful in business. His wife was his emotional pillar. Unfortunately, dementia plagued her later years. To take care of his wife, Lai ended his business and returned to Taiwan to begin caring for her full-time.
On this morning, Lai Guangrong has not eaten anything yet himself before tending to his wife, making sure she is fed.
She needs my help with everything, including using the bathroom and bathing.
Married for 46 years now, they had 30 years of marital bliss. Lai had a stable business in China while his wife was by his side taking care of him. Their family of 3 generations lived without worries until about 15 years ago, when Mrs. Lai became depressed, which then turned into dementia.
I left my work in China and came back with my wife.
完全没有任何的考虑，我
There was nothing to consider.
太太才度过这个她现
I needed to be with my wife. I need to help her through this and give her the chance to achieve stability.
把她给安定下来。
Although the wife does not speak much, Mr. Lai knows what she's thinking.
你要哪双鞋？你看她的心情，看到她这些心情是这个。
After breakfast and putting on outside clothes, Mr. Lai and his wife heads to the senior daycare center.
这样有时候要照顾她的一个平衡感。
Mr. Lai doesn't just drop off his wife at the senior daycare center and leave. He spends at least half a day with his wife doing the activities planned. It's rare to see family accompanying their loved ones at the daycare center. Thus, his actions have moved the staff.
He is very responsible in taking care of his wife. They draw and chat together, and it's obvious he cares for her. I hope I can find a husband like him and hope that he can grow old with me.
Doing his best to take care of his wife, actually, 71-year-old Mr. Lai suffered a stroke last year and was hospitalized.
I woke up to honor the ancestors and I needed to move the cups, but I couldn't move my arms. I had to go to the emergency room at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital.
Thankfully, he was able to get the treatment he needed for the stroke, and after rehabilitation therapy, there are nearly no side effects. During his illness, Mr. Lai was more concerned about his wife, and he told himself he could not fail her.
My son brought my wife to the hospital to see me. And when she saw me, she was happy. My body belongs to her, so I need to take care of her. The longer I live, the longer she'll be happier.
Looking at old photographs will sometimes bring back memories for Mrs. Lai, but she's still unable to express her thoughts. Yet Mr. Lai continues to patiently sit and chat with her.
I think she needs this type of environment to help her slowly recover and find back her feelings from before. If there are no exercises to help her remember, then she'll continue to forget.
No matter if his wife's memories have been lost or not, Lai Guangrong vows to spend the rest of his days by his wife's side.
A job bank survey in 2019 found that a college student who entered society has an average debt of around $6,000 US. This debt is mostly school loans, which, based on an estimated average salary of $1,000 US a month, will take 7 months to pay off if the person does not eat or drink. In fact, student loans are already a global business. In the United States, student loans have already surpassed $1 trillion US. Here's more. The effects of a cold front bring heavy rain and chilly temperatures, dropping to just 14 degrees in Taipei. On the day of filming at noon, Mr. Chen is doing food delivery, rushing to stores and restaurants to deliver goods to customers. Mr. Chen is a doctoral student at National University in Taiwan. He came from southern Taiwan to pursue his studies, and all tuition and living expenses are covered by himself. Higher cost of living in the north means he has to work 3 jobs in his spare time. Besides food delivery, he also works in a hospital laboratory. On holidays, he works delivery for a restaurant.
To take care of my tuition and other costs, I have to do part-time jobs, and the salary is counted according to the basic hourly rate. Even though I have many part-time jobs, what I earn actually is not that much.
When faced with the pressure of supporting himself, he does part-time work to temporarily resolve the stress, and continuing to study is one of the best ways to get ahead. Chen says he was lucky to get a student loan.
My situation at home at that time was not very good. So on the one hand, part of my schooling is dependent upon school loans. And then part of my living expenses are from some scholarships and grants. If I didn't have these, then I would be probably unable to study.
School loans have become a big help to students who want to realize their dreams. There's another student who fully agrees with this concept. Mr. Ye works at a cafe in Geelong. He's also a student loan borrower.
In class, more than 2/3 have school loans. Only a small portion don't. This is because tuition is really expensive, so I think school loans are useful.
It is normal for students to take out loans, and though Mr. Ye will soon graduate from a private university, he will need to calculate how to pay off his loans, which may take at least 7 or 8 years to settle. This affects his mood.
I've started to think about it, just thinking about the debt I will bear when I graduate, which is difficult for me.
Every year when graduation comes along, university campuses send away graduates to the workforce. This also affects the pocketbooks of countless youth and families. According to the Ministry of Education, 1996 academic year, the number of borrowers was 67,000. The amount was $800 million. In the 2009 academic year, the number of lenders reached the maximum level of 817,000. With the amount being, but due to the declining child population, the number of loans began to decline thereafter. Among them, the number of loans in private schools is 4 times more than that in public schools.
If your annual family income is below $35,000 during your school period, whether it's 4 years bachelor study or 3-year master degrees or even 7 years of doctoral study, you don't have to pay any interest. This is covered by the government.
It hopes to reduce the burden on young people, but this debt will have to be repaid sooner or later. Not only Taiwan, but also around the world, the trend for student loans is apparent. In the United States, 2/3 of university graduates leave with school loans, with an average debt of more than $30,000 per person. Some say new graduates are lucky, but others have another take.
This is my class, 2019. And my family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
This graduation ceremony had a surprising cheer as Morehouse College in Georgia received a gift from the richest African American in the United States, who helped 400 fresh graduates fully pay off about $400 million in school loans. However, it may be difficult for students in Taiwan to have such a gift. Education is the best investment for the next generation. The increase in school loans brought 2 changes. One was the increase in tuition fees, and the other was that children of low and middle income families had more chances to receive higher education.
A young person at this stage of schooling will go to work while studying because of the pressure of school loans. This may not be a good thing because it will indeed affect his physical and mental balance and his learning performance.
School loans are an undeniable burden, with hundreds of thousands of students in debt to support their dreams. However, before these loans were available, you really had to find a way to save money and pay for the cost of your education. Tzu Chi seeds are slowly sprouting in Hanoi, Vietnam. Volunteers continue to attract local people to activities. Xu Wenhua, a Taiwanese businessman who runs a restaurant, learned that Tzu Chi wanted to hold a tea party. He especially leased his business space and also provide a vegetarian buffet to let the public understand the spirit of Tzu Chi. We'll leave you with this. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.